Hey everybody, it's Bill HD here. I'm getting a lot of questions lately from colleagues who teach writing about ChatGPT. And I have some good news. I'd like to share it with you. The teaching that we typically do around feedback, around review and revision, is still important. Let me show you what I mean.
So the other day I asked ChatGPT if it would build me a grading rubric based on the WPA outcomes. Now, the WPA outcomes are for writing program administrators, and they are one of the standards that our field uses when we talk about holistic scoring of writing. Here's what ChatGPT gave me back. Not bad. It said, sure, here's a sample grading rubric. It echoed back the criteria, and then it gave me a grading scale, 4-point scale, for each of the items. Now, that's not particularly surprising. The WPA outcomes are all over the internet. But now that this is in ChatGPT's short-term memory, I went out and I grabbed the text of something that I had written on Medium. I just published a book review there of a new book I'd read recently called Playing Changes by the author Nate Shinen. And when I did that, I asked for ChatGPT to grade using the rubric my essay, my review essay. Here's what happened. So you can see I pasted it right in there. And ChatGPT said, using the WPA outcomes for writing rubric, it then gave me this review. Look at that. Critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making, 4 out of 4. Communication, 4 out of 4. Collaboration, not applicable. That's fair. Citizenship, 4 out of 4. Culture and historical understanding, 4 out of 4. Not bad, right? And look, it gave me some written feedback. The writer demonstrates a strong understanding of the cultural and historical context of jazz music. The writer demonstrates an in-depth understanding of the topic and provides insightful analysis on the themes and artists within the book, Playing Changes. The writer effectively conveys their thoughts and opinions in a clear and well-structured manner. So, if I'm looking for a reasonable, summative assessment of my essay, first of all, I think ChatGPT delivered. And we can talk a little bit about what that means for us as writing teachers, but it's an interesting outcome, no? Overall, this piece of writing meets all of the outcomes, it says, and an exceptional level of proficiency. So I'm going to feel good about myself, right? Except when I read that essay, it's a first draft. I might have revised it a little bit, but I'm sure that if I were submitting it for somewhere to publish, let's say in Downbeat magazine or something like that, I'm sure an editor would have some feedback for me. So I asked ChatGPT, thank you, can you offer me any opportunities for revision of this piece of writing based on the rubric? Now look what happens. Sure, here are a few suggestions for revision based on the given rubric. But now, if you look, I have almost no really good pieces of feedback on what I actually wrote. What they're telling me are things like this. Ensure that the introduction provides clear background information and a clear thesis statement. Well, didn't you tell me that I did that up here? Then look at this caveat at the bottom. These are general guidelines that can help you revise your writing to meet the expectation of the given rubric. Good luck. It's not really good at feedback, folks. And so if we're going to, one, evaluate whether or not it did a decent job of applying the criteria, we have to be able to do that. A human reader has to be able to read that essay and understand if this robot's doing half the job that we would do. And, well, if you want to improve it, that's where it stops short.
So you can see what I'm talking about. Formative feedback is where it's at. If you're interested in a place to practice review and revision, that's why we built Eli Review. And we can help you with that. So take a look at elireview.com. Thanks.